Allie, you talked a little bit about like making content, right? Because like it has become this like huge part of your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Is there a point where like making content gets stressful for you
Oh my
now
God.
that it's
Yeah.
like, right?
Yeah.
Because do you feel like your personal life is social media and your
Yeah.
business life is social media, and then you're
Yeah.
just, you're trying to make that daily content, you're trying to reach your viewers, you're trying to do all these different things. How
Yeah.
do you figure out that balance?
Yeah. It's crazy you just bring that up now because I feel like I kind of had my first I don't want to say breakdown, but yeah, kind of. I had my first moment of like really feeling like I hit like the most overwhelmedness that I've ever felt. Because
Yeah.
I've never been full-time social media. So like leading up to now it's been like yes, I did social media and I was uploading my tutorials and I was I was on Instagram and YouTube and stuff, but it was really like I could only do it when I had my free time. So there was still something taking me away from social media, like
Hmm.
freelancing or like, when I worked retail, it was like I still worked all day and then I kind of got a break from it in that sense. Now it's almost like I have all the freedom in the world, which is amazing. But it's like because I have all this freedom, I almost have to teach myself to set those boundaries and like really make sure that I'm still prioritizing time away from it.
Hmm.
Um, Otherwise I literally like I had to step away from my social media for a week, like probably 3 weeks ago. And I was just like fully transparent with my audience. And I was like, I just am like, I'm just not, I just don't feel like myself. I feel like I'm like in this weird fog. I just really need to like take a moment to like realize I'm alive and I'm like in real
Yeah.
world, because
Hmm.
it's very consuming, especially with when you are a creator, but then also like you feel like you always have to be genuinely on social media to like know all the trends and like make sure that
Hmm.
you're like still with it, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely it has its moments, especially because I've only been living in North Carolina for 6 years, but I was born and raised in upstate New York. So I still have a lot of like my core besties that I like grew up with. So again, like social media, like all that stuff is like also the only way that I can stay in touch with those people. So
Right.
even just like simple text messages and stuff, I'm overwhelmed by, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
So I do have to say that like my biggest advice, and honestly, the week that I took off was like the most I had ever felt alive in like a year because I finally
Oh,
was like breathing and like going for walks outside. It sounds so simple, but when you're just like so consumed, and I love what I do too. So that's the other thing is I just love to work. I love to be busy all the time. And I almost feel like if I'm not working, I get like that guilt where I'm like, I could
yeah.
be working right now. Like I could be
Yeah.
productive, which is kind of a toxic mentality.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I started journaling every morning and every evening, and I've kept with it the past 3 weeks. And it's just crazy how like simple little things like that you wouldn't think would be all that impactful was so impactful. Like I felt it within
Hmm.
3 days. I was like, damn, this feels good,
Yeah.
like to just
Right.
like sit and like write to myself or read a book or whatever. So